A tool that helps victims of cardiac arrest may be required at Oahu buildings if a proposed bill ends up passing. The device is called an automated external defibrillator, or a AED for short. The bill would mandate that all city buildings and newly constructed buildings have an AED available. Sarah Madison gets answers on what that would mean. Sarah?
Kathy, heart experts say AEDs can help save lives. If someone is experiencing a heart attack, an AED can help a patient quicker than waiting for an ambulance to arrive. Having AEDs accessible in more buildings may promote public health and safety, but at what cost?
Currently, there is a law in place that just states that there's no responsibility or liability to any company that chooses to put an AED in. There's no liability to anybody who performs CPR.
President of the AED Institute, Pamela Foster, says early access to an AED saves lives.
An AED needs to be placed within 2 to 3 minutes to make the biggest difference in survival.
That's how Bill 69 comes into play. It would mandate buildings to have an AED on each floor if the building is owned or leased by the city, constructed on or after 2018, and houses 20 or more people.
When we say newly constructed building, is that both private and publicly owned?
That would be correct.
And what about homes?
Homes, it would not include that for the most part, but buildings would have that.
But Councilman Brandon Elefante says apartment complexes with 20 or more residents would be mandated to have AEDs under this bill.
How much is this plan going to cost?
So it can range. It can range from $1,500 to $2,500, even more. It just depends on the quantity, the amount that is purchased, and the type of brand or machine.
At this point, Councilman Elefante does not know how many city-owned or leased buildings would need AEDs and how much total that would cost taxpayers. The building management or tenants would be responsible for installing the AEDs. The first reading of the bill at City Council will be this Thursday. Sarah Madison, KHON 2 News.